Cyril Ramaphosa must stop Police Minister Bheki Cele from capturing the SAPS. That's the call from the DA spokesperson on police, Andrew Whitfield. In a statement issued yesterday, Whitfield says the party has written to President Ramaphosa asking him to instruct the police minister to withdraw his request to the outgoing National Police Commissioner. This follows media reports that Cele instructed Bheki Cele to provide him with handover reports on active police investigations. Well, for more on this, Andrew Whitfield joins us now live. Thank you for joining us, Andrew. How unusual is it? I can't remember it happening before, but perhaps you've got better insight. How unusual is it for a minister to ask a member of the SAPS for live dockets?
It's completely unprecedented. I've never encountered anything quite like it, and it's a very bad start for the president if he really intends to overhaul the South African police service. Overhauling the South African police service requires this firewall that we're calling for to be built against political interference. We know that this minister in particular has a history of interference, and as you've seen in the clip that you just played, he keeps referencing his previous role as a national police commissioner, which we believe has been the source of all of the tension, the decline in morale within the ranks of the police, and the disarray in senior management. So the president has a very important role to play. He's dealing with the issue of National Police Commissioner General Bheki Cele, who's had damning judgments handed down against him, but he's failing to act against Minister Bheki Cele, and he's given him the space to demand a handover report, which is an operational document, which should effectively go to the next National Police Commissioner, not to any politician, not even the president. It's unacceptable and it's completely unprecedented.
How does he justify, to your mind, getting those investigations handed to him and those live investigations handed to him? He's justified it as being part of an official handover, but why would the police commissioner hand over to the minister?
Well, we don't believe that there's any justification, certainly not in law. The SAPS Act doesn't make provision for it. We're not aware of any legal mechanism or instrument that makes provision for such an unprecedented handover of operational information, which may, for example, contain active investigations into senior ANC members, given the outcomes of the State Capture Commission. And so we don't believe that there's any justification whatsoever. We believe the only justification for a handover report would be a report that is handed to the next head of the South African Police Service, the next accounting officer, which would be the person that the president ultimately appoints. And on that note, we still don't know what process the president is going to follow, whether the deployment committee of the ANC is going to be involved. And I think that the real call that we're making at this point is that there's a tremendous opportunity now to reset and rebuild the South African police service and immunize it against this political interference, which has become par for the course ever since Minister Bheki Cele has been involved in, and in fact, previous ministers as well. We have to find somebody who understands the function of being a minister, which is to provide executive oversight, to provide direction to policy and legislation, not to interfere in operational issues within the South African Police Service, and certainly not to demand active updates on active investigations into high-profile cases.
How much interface does a police commissioner and a police minister actually have, for instance, on a day-to-day basis? Because it would seem during the June-July unrest that there was very little communication between the two.
Well, there should absolutely be regular contact, and I think that the breakdown in the relationship between the National Police Commissioner and the minister is proof that it takes two to tango, and these are the two most senior people within the South African Police Service, within the policing environment, that couldn't put their differences aside in the interests of the nation. And we believe that the entire battle within the South African Police Service is a reflection of ANC factional battles. We know that General Bheki Cele was appointed previously by Jacob Zuma just prior to the Nasrec conference. And so, immunizing SAPS from political interference requires not only getting the right minister in place who understands his constitutional obligations, but making sure that we appoint a fit-for-purpose professional police officer at the helm. There's just absolutely no justification for us to continue in the way that we have. And the panel of experts report into the July unrest was found incredibly damning, made damning comments against cabinet and the ministers responsible for the security cluster. Yet we still see Minister Bheki Cele trotting around behaving as though he's some sort of shadow national police commissioner, which is just untenable. And we believe that if he remains in his role, he will continue to assume that he's still this shadow national police commissioner who has these powers that he had 10 years ago, which he doesn't. And that's going to cause ongoing instability in the upper echelons of the police.
As the opposition, if you don't get a response from the minister or the president, what's your next move going to be?
Well, we're going to continue to put that pressure on the president because the president has tremendous powers. He has the power to appoint the minister and he has the power to appoint the National Police Commissioner. We are going to continue petitioning the presidency. We are tabling a motion of no confidence in the president's cabinet. We released a statement yesterday setting out our reasons why we would bring such a motion against the Minister of Police, Bheki Cele. And there are a whole host of issues. I mean, one of the most alarming elements is the complete failure to combat gender-based violence by allowing the SAPS Forensics Division to all but collapse and DNA analysis backlogs to accumulate to over 200,000 case exhibits. This period of the last 3 years, which is now more than halfway through the term of office for the minister, has been failure after failure, increasing rates of violent crime, and the minister's own performance agreement with the president has been a complete and utter failure. And we're going to be going through that performance agreement line by line and making sure that the minister and the president understand that we are serious about fixing the South African police service.
All right, thank you so much for your time. That was Andrew Whitfield, the DA spokesperson on police. We have reached out to the police minister for his response, and his spokesperson said correspondence between Minister Cele and the National Commissioner is confidential.